Speaking about that time where the end will come for us to get out of this recession, have you seen anything done whatsoever at the moment that gives you that hope that yes, indeed, in 12, 18 months, we will be out of this recession?
As of now, there's nothing. From my own point of view,
nothing.
But except for this this discussion that is just being done today, or yesterday, that was just started yesterday. If the whatever is agreed on, if it can be implemented, it's going to be okay. There are a lot of issues.
You know,
I'm
trying to pick up on one issue, and it has to do with the TSA. Because if you look at it, it wasn't the idea of this government.
Yes.
The TSA has been with the President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, but they did not implement it. Perhaps maybe they saw something, and that was why they held back. How does it affect what we're going through at the moment when you say the TSA seem to be a minus in the whole scheme of our economy?
Basically, just look at it this way: plus and minus, 1 and 2. Federal government will bring in money from dollar, whatever sales of crude oil and coal comes in the economy. Each bank actually have an account with each of these banks. We have CBN, which is the bank to the government, but they also have banks with this. They also have accounts with these banks. They lodge this money into those accounts. I know one thing: you won't spend all your money at a go. So in such instances, the bank, because it has some fund from maybe Lagos State government, Bayelsa and co, it could put these resources together to either lend to one person, lend to the other, maybe for 1 month, for 2 months, for 3 months. When the time they will actually come back for the money. But here we are. Federal government has taken everything away, locked it up in CBN. Locked up, not available, locked up. You cannot grow an economy when you lock money. It's taken away from where it can be productive and locked up in a safe somewhere else in CBN. That should not be. So if you're going to lock it up there, then the other thing you need to do is for you to spend the money and bring it back into the economy so that the credit creation ability is brought into being. I have money, you have money, I buy things from you, you produce, I buy, then I produce, you buy, then money change hands. Now you lock the money up because of one thing or the other. That is why, and the people that actually need to be productive are not productive. Why? Because the fund they needed are not available. And here we are. They couldn't even go out there to go and source for fund because there's issue of forest and issue challenges. Federal government needs to come in here to either to do those two things: pump money into the into the banks, and 2, get money from outside the country to help pushing the economy as of now. Let us get ourselves up.
Would you love them to put this on the table as
yes,
at a retreat?
Yes, they should, please. They should. Apart from spending on the area of agriculture, telecommunication services sector, education, they should look at this idea. Let me have access to fund. I can borrow and, if possibly, pay my staff for 2 months. Then afterwards, I also can, in one way or the other, use it for my productive process. After 2-3 months, let's see what happens to me with my production. Because by the time I produce, people, because I pay my staff salary, they can purchase outside there, and those people produce, they pay their own people's salary, then they can come and buy my goods. And with that, and also we should try and encourage Nigerian goods consumption, so that if I produce, you are able to consume, and if you produce, I'm able to consume. With that, we grow the economy back.
You know, with the situation of things now, do you think that the minister should be thinking of having a supplementary budget before we even think of the 2017 budget?
There's no. Why are we having supplementary when the original one has not been done? Nothing has been done. We only have maybe, let's say, 20-40% performance. Nothing. So they need to, first of all, within the next 3-4 months that we have, put the money, if possible, look at critical sector that will impact on people. If it's agriculture, because by December we'll be looking for rice. Invest in rice production. By December, people will buy it. You get your money back. Let us invest in agriculture. Invest in the telecommunication sector. Invest in those critical sector and service sector in the economy, and let us see what comes back into the economy.
You know, speaking about the banks, I mean, I've heard people say several times that, look, they've not been performing the core functions, such as lending to the real sector. And besides, I mean, when they talk about the sector needing long-term loans, and that what they get is usually short-term, and you can't use short-term loans to finance long-term projects. And so even if you give the banks all the money, the fundamentals have not changed.
Basically, if you give a bank a money, for example, I give you Chamberlain, take 50 naira. This 50 naira is meant for so and so. we have 10 people outside there that will come to you for this fund. It is now left for you to know how to distribute it to those 10 people. But I will tell you, in 1 or 2 years, I'm coming back for my 15 naira with a 1% interest on it. Now it is not left for you to do, but you have a regulatory body who is going to monitor how you disperse that 15 naira. So it may not be, if banking sector, if the work is too much for them, let them have a sector like EFCC.
But they have several agencies.
I think it is much more than their capacity. It is much more than their capacity.
And that's the CBN here. You think
it's CBN that I'm talking about. It is CBN I'm talking about.
So what change?
Emefiele, for example, needs to come up and, if possible, go back to his own sector. Rather than sit with those 8 or 12 people that decide MPR each time and each day and out, they should come back into his own sector and let us sit down and analyze, apart from the other thing that's been discussed at the retreat that is over there. I believe that after this retreat, a lot of solutions will have been provided that will help this economy to move forward. Then number 3, which is the last one, our president needs to be up and doing too. He needs to take this economy and grab it by the jugular. I think that would be for another time if there's an opportunity.
Specifically in what way?
It should, because most of the challenges we have here are they are all because of him. He has a statement, he has given us word, but all because the CBN governor is afraid of the president. There are some decisions he ought to make, he couldn't make. Everybody is waiting for the president's body language. What is he going to say about devaluation? What is he going to say about this? What is he going to say about that? It should either allow the system to work, or, if possible, if someone is not performing, let them go.
All right. Adeola-Ojo is an economic and financial analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so very much.